Chiefs Kingdom, ACU crew, Mike in the house, back with another live podcast for that ass. Steve is at work. He may be able to swing here before this is over with. Maybe not. He got held up a little bit today, but we're going to run it by ourselves. This has been a wild week. It has been wild. The backlash that Patty Mahomes, the best quarterback in football, maybe one of the best, if not the best quarterback to ever step on the football field at being a magician, he has taken some backlash over just something that all competitors do. People forget that Tom Brady, he would yell at referees all the time, dude. There's video clips of him just like railing these guys all the way into the locker rooms. You've got Bill Belichick on the field. You had Bill Parcells. Good Lord, you had Bill Cowher go out on the field and take a printout sheet of 11 guys on the field when they called him for 12 men, I think. And then he put it in the dude's pocket. I mean, come on. Phillip Rivers cried all the time, but he was just a competitor. Tom Brady was the GOAT. And, dude, they've all looked for a reason to dog Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes, the first time in his career, give him a little crack of daylight seeped in, and have they pounced. They have pounced on it. Every hater in the world has pounced on it. Every Chief hater, every Mahomes hater, everybody that hates the success of this franchise, everybody that hates anything to do with the Chiefs, you name it, they're attacking. The media, this has caused the media to have a firestorm. We're talking about how Mahomes is overrated. He's broken. Come on. This is ridiculous. He's a competitor in a game. He said nice words to Josh Allen. They spoke. I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Allen didn't actually ask him what was the deal with that call, and that's what responded with Mahomes was saying offensive offsides, and that's why he was on his rage. He probably said heck of a play too. I think that's what he told Kelsey. People are just reading too much into this. It's just a reason to hate. It's a reason to hate the Chiefs. We're not going to let it happen. I've got a few more things to say about it in just a minute, but I'm ready to move on. At this point, it's insignificant. You're not getting a redo. We're not going to get an asterisk put by it. Asterisk. I'll get it right in a second. You're not going to get that put by it. And yeah, a lot of people's asked me, hey, have you changed your mind? Have you changed it? Was it a penalty? Was it not? I'll answer all that in just a second. But first, I appreciate all you guys being here. I really do. I see a lot of the usuals in the house. I appreciate you guys being here. We have a decent amount of people in here tonight. I'm excited. I think we've got, we're at like almost 80. That's not too bad. It's not great, but this is a Wednesday night war room. And I'll tell you what, it's been a wild week. I think a lot of people are emotionally exhausted. They're tired of fighting. They're tired of arguing with people. They're tired of having to defend Mahomes and defend the Chiefs. It's a lot of things. And I just think a lot of people are just emotionally and mentally tired right now. It's been a tiring season. It seems like we can't get it together. It's been a tiring season, losing 4 out of 6. It's tiring. I like to be positive, and I'm glad a lot of people are being positive, but I'll say this, it's tough. Like, we have built, Andy Reid, and then with the addition of Mahomes, has built a standard of football right now that a lot of people are wanting to hold on and grasp onto. And when it feels like there's a little crack in the foundation, it's tough to swallow. And yeah, it's a little bit of getting used to it, but it's not the end of the world. I tweeted yesterday that Mahomes has only lost at max 5 games in his entire career, I think, in a season. Regular season, of course. So he's at that mark. He's at the mark. So it is what it is. Tom Brady lost 6 games. 3 times in his first 9 seasons. Mahomes has never had a 6-game regular season loss, and he is going into his 5th season as a starter. So, yeah, it's not that crazy. And we've all known from the beginning, there was a problem with the wide receiver room. There was a problem with talent. Veach done a heck of a job building the defense. He tried to do some bargain shopping on the offense. He did go out and pay, he paid the right tackle. He paid MVS 2 years ago. I think that's kind of been a mistake, but you live and you learn. And if there's anything that I am very confident about, Veach is a proud man. And Brett Veach will accept the fact internally. He may not voice it, but internally it's bothering him that the product he's putting on the field is not working. The chance he took with the wide receiver room is not paying off. And I think that scratches at his ego a little bit. I think to himself, he will admit he made a mistake, and I think he will overcorrect the mistake. You've seen him do it with the defense. You've seen him do it with the offensive line to a certain degree when he was rebuilding the corner room. I think he'll do it, and I have ultimate faith that Brett Veach will figure out a way. I do not think that they'll go into next season with the exact same wide receiver core. I just don't see it. I think there'll be some big moves. I think Veach will do whatever he can to fix this. And so, but right now there's nothing we can really do. I don't think there's anybody on the free agent market. I've heard Deshaun Jackson wants to play here. People are saying go sign T.Y. Hilton. I just don't think they come in and immediately contribute right away. Deshaun Jackson, maybe more so than anybody, but he's a little washed. He's a little old. I don't know what he actually could probably do. I would like to see, and this was in the title, Justyn Ross was practicing today, ladies and gentlemen. He was on the field. And I actually got a little clip of Ross. I'll roll it. He was catching some punts. He was catching some passes. We don't know when he's going to be back. So he just now, he missed a lot of time. He's got to get in game shape. When he was in, he wasn't playing a lot of snaps anyway. He was doing a few things wrong. He's a guy that's not played a lot. That's all there is to it. So will he come back in and be an immediate factor? Probably not. Would I love to see it? Yes. I think at this point, there's a lot of bad play in the wide receiver room. A lot of bad play through individual wide receivers. And if you start taking snaps away and giving it to Justyn Ross, I think nobody would have a problem with that. And I think that this Justyn Ross experiment has to be solved. It's got to be solved like this year, because Justyn Ross is one of the key components of why we took 7 wide this time, because you needed to keep Ross. You couldn't put him on the practice squad. That's probably why we traded, Amir Smith-Marset. So I think you have to figure out what you have with Ross. Over these next few weeks, I think it would be vital to put him in, see what you got. If you don't have something, if you miscalculated, cool. Off season, get rid of him, part ways, do what you got to do. I don't know. But I think you have to let Justyn Ross get a little bit of an opportunity here once he gets back in game shape. Before we go any further, I do appreciate you guys being here. Again, hit that like button for me. If you haven't sub. We're trying to get to 20K. We're at like 18.5. We actually just got an alert from YouTube saying we broke the 10 million viewer mark this week, which, by the way, we had broke that before, but we made some videos, we deleted some videos. We made some private. We did this and that. That also takes it back down. So this is actually the second time we've hit the 10 million mark. So congrats twice, I guess, to myself and to Stevie boy. We're going at it hard. But if it's your first time being with me in the past week or so, if you've missed anything, our boys over here, look at Creed Humphrey rocking this one. He's rocking it. Creed is a Team FOCO member. By the way, who else is a Team FOCO member? That is Trey Smith. Trey Smith is a Team FOCO member. And guess who else was asked to join the Team FOCO? That was your boys at All Chiefed Up. FOCO reached out, asked if we would join and help spread the FOCO love. And so we said, yeah. So they sent us some nice goodies in the mail. Wanted to show you guys this. They sent me this awesome, nice 10 sign. You can see it right here behind me. I'll take this off for just a second. Right here on the back, you can see it right under my jersey. I can't get my arm right. This is like backwards. But yeah, they sent us a lot of goodies. They sent us some friendship bracelets. Look at that. Excuse me, coughed. Friendship bracelets. Got this little nice 3D Arrowhead Stadium. Look at that. I'm going to build that one later. Got a nice little bobblehead. Sent the bobblehead, baby. They sent in the beanie, the light up beanie. And then, of course, they've also got things like this. The Dear Santa, we won a Super Bowl. But yeah, so yeah, we've teamed up with FOCO. They sent us a lot of nice stuff. It's high quality. It's nice. Our boys, Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, we're repping the same stuff as some of our chief heroes, baby. Like, who would have thought it would have come this far? We love it. So them taking a chance on us, you guys take a chance on them. You can see it scrolling at the bottom. You can hit the description. Just click our link there. Shop through FOCO. They're doing some Christmas sales right now, stuff up to 40% off. And if you use code CHIEFEDUP10, you get 10% off your order as well. So, yeah, man, help us out, do some of that. And then if you want to support us in other ways, we've got our own kind of stuff here. And you can do that at merch.allchiefedup.com. Got some Christmas sweaters. People are buying these like hotcakes. But yeah, check out FOCO. Tell them ACU sent you. Find them on social media. Hit them up. And yeah, man, be a part of the Team FOCO team with us. It's fun. But yeah, getting back to some Chief football. I'm going to go through and start reading some comments in just a minute. One of the things, let's talk about the Kadarius Toney thing for just a few more minutes, and then let's just put that away. Let's put it away. Let's quit talking. Like, we don't have to argue with each other in the comments. We don't have to defend ourselves anymore. Let's just talk about it for just a minute. There's a few things I wanted to talk about, and I wish Steve was here to talk with me through some of this, because I like to have the dialogue instead of just me doing like a little soliloquy, like you're watching a nice little Macbeth Hamlet play up here. But I'm going to tell you just my thoughts. Since Steve's not here, I'm going to give you just some of my thoughts on it. And you guys let me know in the comments if you agree with what I'm saying, or if you don't. If you think I'm a little off base or whatever it may be. But yeah, just for a few, and then we'll move on, and I'll start taking some questions. First and foremost, I've said that all these people all week long has just been attacking Mahomes' character. This is a reason I don't respect Mahomes. He's a crybaby. I've lost respect, blah, blah, blah. You never had respect for Mahomes. You never liked the Chiefs. You've had it out for us. This is just the crack in the foundation that now you can come at Patrick Mahomes and you feel justified. That's all that is. That's all that is. So look, people like that, you're not going to get through to them. The NFL, look, there's a lot of teams out there, no matter what sport, and if you're not a fan of the Chiefs, you pretty much hate them. So you're going to attack people. Look, the way people attack Brady and them, come on. I'm sure Brady, dude, they've all got it. So we've all seen it. People hate success. They envy success. They hate it. They covet. They covet the success. And it's not supposed to be like that, but that's the way the world is. But here's what I want to say. So moving on from that one, Andy and Pat were not arguing that it was not a penalty. I've seen this time and time again. They did not get up anywhere and say that was not a penalty. It was not a penalty. They argued over the consistency of the call. That's the first thing, that you cannot get this through to trolls. You cannot get it through to haters. You cannot get through to it. You are wasting your breath. They will say, they can't even listen to what Mahomes said. Mahomes said, from elementary school on, you have a dialogue with officials and you talk back and forth, and they get you in the right spot. They tell you if you're holding, they'll tell you get your hands inside. If you're moving too early, hey, whatever. If you're off the line a little too much, if you're a defender getting too close to the line, they'll tell you to move back. If you're a corner and you're getting a little too handsy, they'll tell you to do it. And then usually after a warning or two, they'll come to you and be like, look, I give you a warning. Gene Steratore used to do that all the time. He used to do it all the time. And after he'd give a warning, boom, they'd hit you with it. It's like, look, we got you. And so that leads me to the next point. They wanted consistency. They wasn't mad that the call was made. It was mad because the call hadn't been made previously, and it was that key time in the game in which he called it. And again, he did throw the flag before the play even started. So as soon as Mahomes had the ball, the flag come out. It's not like he waited till Kelsey made the amazing play and Tony ran in the end zone, then they threw it. So look, that's wrong too. They didn't throw it in spite of the big play, but he just threw it at a weird time. It was a weird time, and I think in his head even, and I bet the officials even like, my God, did they really have to do that? Because now it looked like a horse's ass. Like, I bet he's even thinking it deep down, but at that point, what's he going to do? But that's the thing. It's consistency over the call, not the call itself. And that leads me to the next point. We've all seen the Dan Orlovsky. He does some great film study where he went back and watched every one of those. He went back and watched, and he said, look, he was on the line or he was over the line several times. And a lot of people are saying, you're in the NFL. This is supposed to be easy. Can't you just look over? Yeah, you can, but it's still very common. Very, very common that people do this. We've seen Jalen Waddle do it the very next night, and there wasn't a big outrage over that one, and it wasn't called. You've seen several people doing it. But the fact that Kadarius Toney done that 3, 4, 5 times in that game, he never got a warning from the official. He never got a warning, and they never called it. So he just assumed he's good to go, and no, he threw it right then. And that's what Mahomes and them are arguing about, is like, Why did you wait till under a minute in the most important time of the game without giving anybody a warning after he had done that 5 times? So I think Steve just popped in, so we'll be able to run this by him too. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that one. Whenever Steve decides to join the club here, he is here though. Don't know what he's doing. He's just sitting here staring at me. He's watching me rant. But yeah, I'm going to ask him that as well. But that's the one thing. So it's the inconsistency. There he is. Steve has joined. Look at him.
What's up?
Look at him. We're just talking. We'll catch you up a little bit. All we were talking about is we wanted to cover just the Kadarius Toney, the end of that game, just one more little brief time, and then we're moving on. We're tired of it. I'm tired of defending it because I've said that no matter what, people has hated Patrick Mahomes, and they're just haters that hate the Chiefs and their success, and they were looking for a crack in the foundation, and Mahomes has never give it to them until this week, and so they're just all jumping on the bandwagon, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, I mean, Mahomes has been PR clean for 7 years.
Yes.
People hate him. They've already decided they hate him, and they're going to use this to be like, this is why I don't like him. I mean, it is what it is. And then, of course, as far as the actual call goes, you have your people that don't know anything about football whatsoever, so they automatically jump to, well, a penalty's a penalty. That's the rule. And it's like, yeah, it goes deeper. He lined up that way the entire game. No one warned him. No one called it. They waited till the last play of the game that mattered the most and threw the flag. That's sketchy. I'm sorry. It just is.
So I was running through my points. These are my final thoughts on this before we moved on. And you hit point number 1, which was they were not arguing the call. They were arguing the consistency of the call. Not one time. Steve, did you hear one time Andy Reid or Patrick Mahomes come out and say that that it was not a penalty?
No. I mean, they did. And that's the thing. And that's the way people are twisting it. It's like, oh, well, he's so entitled that he thinks that he shouldn't get a penalty on a penalty. And it's like, that's not it. Like, you can twist it any way you want, but people that actually know how football works know what he's saying.
Right. And so that was the first thing. They're arguing the consistency. And then the second point was the Orlovsky footage, where Orlovsky said that he was lined up like that the whole game and they never called it. Again, it's just going back to consistency. I even seen Aaron Rodgers. Did you catch Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee? They asked Aaron what he thought. And he said, Aaron was like, look, it was a penalty, just like everybody's saying. But he said, I would have been irate too because they didn't call it. Right. And then we've also had this one. Well, why can't Kadarius? It's not the official's job to tell you if you're offsides or not. Well, it kind of is because they do it every play. What do people think? When you see a receiver line up and point to the sideline every time, do they think they're pointing to their girlfriend or their best friend in the crowd? Like, you're pointing to the official. And look, the official, you point to the official, and the official lets you know if you're onside or offsides. And if you're good, he'll tap his leg. He'll throw his arm out a little bit. I think it's like a fist. I don't remember what it is, but I do know tapping the leg.
Yeah, for sure. I want to bring this up because this is exactly what happened right here.
Yeah.
Max hit the nail on the head. They baited KT the entire game, let him do it the entire game, had him comfortable, and then boom, got him when it meant the most.
Right. And so a lot of people, Steve, said that, well, I think even Coach Reed and them, when you went back and watched some of the film, the broadcast didn't show it. I haven't got to check all 22, but it wasn't showing that. It didn't show Kadarius Toney like ask for help and to check. But then footage has come out.
He did.
This is the footage. Watch, you can see Kadarius Toney come right up, and he points right here. Boom. He's looking right at the official. The official's at the bottom of the screen.
Right. So a lot of people are saying, well, he didn't give him a chance to even respond. But I don't think they understand how subtle that is. Usually the referee, as soon as that receiver points, he's either going to point him back or he's going to pat his leg. It's very subtle. Very subtle. So
and you can't
see the referee. And if you look, the referee, actually Aaron Rodgers pointed this out. It looks like the referee kind of gets over to the left to see the ball. So I don't know. Maybe KT missed him. Didn't look long enough to see him not confirm. I mean, there's lots of things, and it was a penalty.
You would think out of a stadium, Steve, of 70,000, you would have had this angle at the other side.
Right.
You would have had somebody, but it doesn't matter. Look, that's all I just wanted to say on that point. And then I have 2 more other points, and then we're dropping this KT thing because it just doesn't matter.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah,
if you haven't watched Dan Orlovsky's piece on it, you need to watch that because he hit the nail on the head. So, like he said it perfectly. So,
right. So the last point I wanted to make was this. For years, I'm talking, since the beginning of football time, it is, no matter what, teams hate teams, right? So Chiefs hate Raiders, Raiders hate Chiefs, Chiefs hate Broncos, Chargers hate Broncos. You name it. New York Jets hates the Giants. You've got everybody hates Dallas. That's a good one. But everybody can always unify together around how horrible officiating always is. Everybody can come together on that, right?
Not this week.
Usually. That's my point. Usually. And all year long, and for the past few years, and like I said, since the beginning of time, everybody rages about how bad the officiating is and how bad they are and how inconsistent they are. But yet and everybody wants it changed. Everybody's like, it just needs to be changed, whether it's full-time officials, whether it's just holding them more accountable, whether it's being able to speak out more. And nothing gets changed. And everybody's like, well, it's Vegas, it's this, it's that. And you have a point. But then when it comes to this, what gets stuff changed? You get things changed by having people within it start to stand up for themselves. And now you have the most prominent QB and one of the best, if not the most prominent head coaches in the game right now, finally take the side of the fans and speak up and say, hey, that's inconsistent. It was a penalty, but it's inconsistent. This is not what the game wants. The games don't want you guys dictating this stuff. And then again, here comes the Eagles fans chirping. Oh, well, that means, well, no, listen to this. If the Eagles think that every penalty is a penalty and it should have been called, then congrats. We won the Super Bowl. You guys can finally admit it. That was 100% a penalty then. So, but my whole thing is this. When Mahomes and Reed come out and prominent figures that could probably stir up enough stink that if everybody would have just went with them, you may have started to make a little bit of progress and change here. But what happened? They shouted them down. They told them they were stupid. They said they're whiners, they're crybabies, blah, 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 because they hate them. And then guess what? Now they've had to back off their stance a little bit. And guess what? Nothing's going to change. So next week, somebody else is getting screwed. And everybody's getting screwed. And this is never going to get changed. And you had your chance here when you had two prominent guys that never talk about plays.
Well,
neither one of them argued that MVS play.
Let me say this. The casual football fan, other actual players and teams and everything else, they hate the Chiefs so much that they would rather get on the bad side with the refs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they would rather like act like there's no problem with the referees and the referees do a really good job than to just admit what's going on. You know,
I tweeted that yesterday. I was like, who had it on their 2023 NFL bingo card that people would rage about the refs all year, and then as soon as Mahomes says the refs stink, everybody unites around the said refs that they hate?
I could have guessed that. I'm going to be honest.
I
didn't know that was going to happen, but if you gave me that situation, you said, Mahomes is going to go off on the referees. Right. I would have said everybody would join in with the referees. That's how much they hate the Chiefs, you know?
And so that's basically the last thing I want to say about all that. That's my feelings about it front to back. It's basically just people that hate the Chiefs are now being able to be more vocal. That's all that is. Don't waste your time defending it. We've had fun. I've had fun just trolling with people all week.
I trolled, I woke up and I couldn't sleep one morning and I just sit there and trolled people for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's funny. But look, they were having trouble all game long aligning things. And I found a play yesterday. Check this one out. I'll put this one up while we're talking. Rice goes in motion, and look, him and Kadarius Toney have no idea how to line up. Mahomes had to scream out to him and tell Rice that he's the on ball and Kadarius is the off ball. And and Mahomes was completely, I think he was already angry about all the alignment stuff. And I believe once they got tagged for it, he's not going to rage on Kadarius Toney on the sideline. And the common enemy that's going to fire people up is the official.
Well,
and Mahomes is a leader. That's what it is. And I think every one of those guys they'd run through a brick wall for Mahomes. I don't care what any fan thinks. The players like that. Yeah, this is the players liked it.
But I also think that maybe 25% of Mahomes' anger was towards the referees. I think that was built up frustration from Brett Veach leaving them hanging. I think that was built up frustration from the offense not being able to get it together. Built up frustration from the receivers not running the right routes and dropping balls. I think it was a big culmination of stuff, and Mahomes finally let it out, and thank God he did. Because I don't care like how people want to spin it and say he's stupid, he's a crybaby, this and that. That's fine. It doesn't matter ultimately. But what does matter is at least he finally showed a little bit of human emotion, and they're not just sitting there getting beat week after week and not caring, because that's what it's looked like. For once, we didn't have to go to the press conference and hear, oh, we got some things to work on. We'll do better.
Oh, we'll be better. That was a good football team.
We just got to clean it up. We just got to clean it up.
I thought that for once, the Mahomes and Reed showed some fire in their belly And they were the ones, they were coming at it from almost like the same frustration the fans felt. Because it's so frustrating as a fan to be like, why am I the one that cares more? These guys, like, but then you're like, oh, well, to them, it's just a game and a job where they get paid and they don't really care that much. Look at them. Like, I care more than they do, and I ain't getting nothing just because I want bragging rights. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but at the same time, they finally showed they matched some intensity, and that's all we've ever asked for was, can the Chiefs match some intensity? They come out and they look like they lay down all the time and they're never ready. So I'm so excited, and let's hope, and this is the bridge to now moving forward. Mahomes said today they're laser focused on the Patriots. The Patriots, look, they're pretty much in shambles. They announced yesterday that Robert Kraft's not going to invite back Bill Belichick. That's crazy. But look, it is what it is. And then he said, he done the Belichick thing today. They asked him about it like 5 times, and he just said, getting ready for the Chiefs, getting ready for the Chiefs. So that's the phrase of the week, just getting ready for the Chiefs.
Right.
I love it.
Well, this is a perfect game for our offense to like bounce back, right? Like,
yes,
after all this stuff, and they've sucked, and they've shown like a couple of like glimpses of what they could be. I suppose you've only seen it a few times this year, right? And it's always in small increments,
right?
But I mean, we've been saying for weeks they've got to get this thing turned around. It's time to get this turned around. I thought it was against the Raiders. That didn't turn out that way. I think that this week is going to be very telling of how the year's going to play out. If they go out and have a rough game with the Patriots and barely win it or lose it, then we know what we have. If they come out and just literally, trounce them into the ground, then maybe that fire from Mahomes and Andy Reid finally like got across to the rest of the team, and we can get through this.
Look, the Patriots offense kind of stinks. They're kind of like we are, but their defense is pretty serviceable. They're not as good as we are, but I mean, they're right there. That's a good defense. That's a Belichick defense. They have a nice little plan for everybody and every quarterback. Belichick's played Brady. Belichick's played Mahomes now several times. He knows his tendencies. Belichick's a great coach, maybe one of the best, if not the best, to ever coach it. I think Andy Reid admitted that today. But look, here's the thing. I'm right with you. If the Chiefs come out and they show some fire and they trounce this team that they should trounce, then it's fine. But look, we've all been waiting for this turnover. Like, when are you guys going to get it together? When is it going to spark? If it don't spark this week, I don't know if we're getting it sparked. It's that simple.
Right.
And again, we got 4 to go, and we're only 1 up in the division right now. So
that's sad, isn't it? Yeah.
Dude, just think about it. If you was to lose to the Patriots, if you really come out and lay an egg again and lose to the Patriots, like, your season may be done at that point. Like, I don't know if you. So this is a big game. This is a big game for the
30.
Chiefs.
I saw earlier today there's 30 teams out of 32 still in the running for the playoffs. That's how much parity is in the NFL, right?
Right. Crazy season. But that also that makes you feel better. Even with the Dolphins getting beat the other night. It makes you feel better with the Giants getting a win the other night, because it's like, look, we have had more losses this year. Again, we're only at 5 losses? Okay.
Right.
Big deal. 5 losses. Like I said, Mahomes has never had 6 in his career. So maybe he wins out, never gets to 6 again. Even if he does get to 6, who cares? Brady had 6 3 times in his first 9 years. It's not the end of the world. And like you said, a lot of parity, which means that now these losses don't look so bad. Like, it is going to be a team that's battle-tested.
There's so many teams in the AFC that's 7 and 6 right now, or
it's
whatever.
It's going to take a battle-tested team to win the Super Bowl this year. This is a wild season, and I think everybody on any given week, I mean, that's it, any given Sunday, it's holding true this year. It really is. The AFC is not a lot of top-loaded teams, but a lot of solid football teams, whereas the NFC is kind of top-loaded.
Right. Well, ideally, the Chiefs win out. So 4 games, you win it out, right? You're playing a backup quarterback in every week, which is funny to think about. But ideally, you win out, and then potentially if you win out and, the Ravens were to drop a couple games because they have a tough schedule coming up, you get the 1 seed. Say you somehow luck out the 1 seed. So you just need to win 7 games in a row, and you can win a Lombardi here. And I mean, it sounds crazy to think that, any other year with Patrick Mahomes, you'd be like, we just need to win 7 games in a row and be done. Like, you wouldn't feel too bad about it, right?
Right.
This year, man, it's a little different. It's a little different.
Well, yeah, it's got that feeling to it. But as we've said, we've all kind of known, if you took a step back and you honestly just looked at it not through Chiefs colored glasses, and you just kind of looked at the way the roster was built this year, I think everybody could have admitted to themselves that it wasn't going to be that juggernaut roster they had, because Brett Veach has had to cheap out in a few spots, and he chose wide receiver, and he just kind of missed. He just kind of missed. And
I'll say
you're
this.
gonna miss. You're gonna miss every once in a while.
I think if he would have had one good receiver, if they would have been able to free up the money to get DeAndre Hopkins, I think you're looking at maybe one loss right now. Like, it's crazy because every one of our losses have been like very, very close games.
Isn't it crazy
with a lot of drops and a lot of this?
Honestly, Kadarius Toney just has cleaned up his mistakes and cleaned up his hands a little bit this year. Like, if he would have been the wide receiver one they projected, we may be that same like, you may not have needed nobody.
The thing about it is
Kadarius Toney just didn't live up to it.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you this, man. They didn't really give him a chance because he was hurt, right, in camp. And then he started the season. They put him out there. Rusty hadn't played any in the preseason, any in camp, and he had that rough game against the Lions, right? That's tough to bounce back from when you lose an entire game on your own shoulders, you know? And then what did they do? They instantly just started giving him a couple snaps a game for the longest time. It's like he disappeared. So, I mean...
Yeah, he progressively went lower.
They did not put him in a position to be that guy, which is weird because that's what they told us all offseason is he's that guy.
But again, is Tony still at fault ultimately because they're afraid he's going to get injured? They're just trying to preserve him.
Well, who cares, man? Like, why would you do that?
Well, I'm just saying if they think
he's wide
receiver one,
move on.
But obviously, that's the Chiefs. That's that miscalculation. Your wide receiver one can't be that like fickle. He can't be that injury prone. It's just not going to work out for you. You've seen what happened when they tried to make a wide receiver one and then baby a wide receiver one. It just don't work. You've got to have somebody out there that can do it. Did you hear the Justyn Ross news? He's back. He was practicing today, Steve.
Yes, I know that, and that's where I was getting ready to go to, actually. So perfect. I was getting ready to say, I'm like praying that this week we get a healthy dose of Justyn Ross. Like, I know that they don't like to bring a guy back in like that and just throw him in the mix, but
you think he'll play this week then?
Surely. Like, at this point,
I don't think he will.
Taking snaps away from Marquez. You have to. And Sky. Let's give him to Justyn Ross and see what he can do. It's not going to change anything. You're not going to be any better. So, I mean, I think that they need to just get him in there and see what he can do. Because what if they do give him the chances and he performs? Then all of a sudden you have him and Rashee Rice. And then you can use Sky Moore as your gadget guy while McCole Hardman's out, or KT, either one.
Wouldn't it be nice if McCole Hardman would sack up and get back and play a little bit?
I think it'd be nice if they would have never brought him back. But
yeah, that for sure. But daggone. Look, all we heard was, well, he's not that injury prone. He only missed a little bit last year. And then as soon as we get him back on the IR again.
Well, here's what blows my mind. So many people are quick to call Sky Moore a bust, but they'll defend McCole Hardman to the death. And it's like, I'm not there. I'll tell you, Sky Moore's very, very close to being a bust, right? Like he needs to get it together in a hurry. But McCole Hardman is a bust. Like, he stinks. And we took him second. In the second round.
I've seen a lot of people say that McCole Hardman's justified his draft position.
Not even close.
You're out of your mind if you think he was worth the second round pick.
No, he stinks.
But yeah, I think at the end of the year, I would love to. I mean, these next 4 games, regular season, by the way, and then maybe going into the playoffs, you got to see what you got with Justyn Ross. You can't go into another offseason not knowing and then be stuck in a situation where you may have to take 7 wide receivers again next year because you don't want to cut Justyn Ross because you want to see what you got. It's like, crap or get off the pot here. Let the guy play. Look, Rashee Rice finally hit 85% of offensive snaps the other day. So he's finally getting into a role that he should have been in from long ago. But Andy Reid and them just, boy, they really hold hands on these guys, don't they? Like, they just won't take the training wheels off and let them go. If they had kids, they'd be in a bubble till they're 23.
Right. If we'd actually drafted George Pickens, can you imagine how mad he'd be on our sideline? He's already completely pissed off over there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he would have had using him. Yeah, he would have had a complete meltdown by week 6.
Yeah, because they would never use him.
It would have been crazy, but I don't know. Here's what I think. I think the Chiefs are in position. Look, they're in the driver's seat. When Miami lost the other night, that really helped.
I wouldn't say they're in the driver's seat.
What's Baltimore have to do? Yeah, well, they do. It's win.
Baltimore has to lose 2 games.
But I'm just saying, the Chiefs, if you want first, you just win. And then
let
the cards fall.
It's been that way for weeks, and they can't do it.
Yeah,
that's the
they
sad
can't
part.
do it.
But Baltimore has to lose 2 games, Mike, and their schedule is not the greatest in the world.
They do play the Dolphins, right?
They are coming up on the 49ers.
They're
I'm
going to
sorry,
lose
I'm
that
sorry.
game.
They get the Jaguars, they get the 49ers, they get the Dolphins, and then the Steelers, which the Steelers always play them
You're
tight.
telling
because
me
it's a
they
divisional
can't
game.
lose 2 out of 4?
They can. They can. Very
Very
much so.
easily. But look, if they lose 2, then you're presumably thinking that's the Jags, which is not a good win for us, even though we do got them in the tiebreaker.
We got
But
the Jags in the
also
tiebreaker.
the
We got the
Dolphins.
Dolphins in the tiebreaker.
Right.
We have the Ravens in a tiebreaker because they go by division wins. So
Well,
we're actually good there too.
So yeah. And what's the Dolphins have to do? Because they're ahead of us
they
right
need
now
to-
as well, right?
One game.
1 game. So
They need to lose another one, and they're going to.
do they need to beat Baltimore in your opinion, or do you think? I think it's better for them to beat Baltimore than Baltimore to beat them, unless Baltimore beating them. Just
I mean that game's
out.
kind of a wash, right? That's just a wash. It doesn't matter who
Right.
wins that.
True.
But the Dolphins have the Jets, the Cowboys, which are going to stomp the Dolphins, Ravens, and then the Bills. So yeah.
You say that, but dude, look, Dallas is a good team, but boy, they're kind of like hit or miss big time. Like you don't know what you're getting sometimes week to week.
You're
with
saying
those
that,
guys.
but I think they're a lot more solid and a lot less fraud
Against
than
better
Miami.
teams. Yeah.
Miami's
Dude,
frauds.
Yeah. Yes and no. I mean,
Yes.
I think Miami, they have not beat a lot of teams, but I think that's because it's a young roster that not necessarily saying they're all young, but they're new to winning. Like they don't know how to get over the hump. You know what I mean? Like teams have to find ways to win games. Then once you get used to it, like the Chiefs, we used to shoot ourselves in the foot all the time, and then we found ways to win games. So we would bounce back from 14 down. And
the Dolphins are very
the
Dolphins are very much like, big play, like dependent. Like they need to go out and just like score a lot of points.
But it's weird because they lead the league in rushing per attempt.
Well, of course they do. They have Devin Achane and they have Raheem Mostert, the 2 fastest running backs in the league, basically.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't want to play the Dolphins again. I wouldn't be like, oh, we're going to destroy them.
No.
That's a little strange.
You don't feel like that about anybody right now, though, do you?
Yeah, that's kind of the sad thing. Is, you don't.
We're getting ready to play the Patriots, and we're talking about.
Right.
You don't even,
I think the only one that I would start to think is probably the Steelers that I would be okay with, and technically they're probably going to bounce themselves out of the playoffs. They're probably done already. But yeah, look at the Browns, man. They got a good defense. Joe Flacco's been pretty. I said Joe Flacco would be good in that offense. All you got to do is run the ball.
Yeah.
And then Flacco comes out and throws for 300.
Yeah. Chris Wright hit the nail on the head here. You stop Tyreek, you stop the Dolphins. He's not scored a touchdown in any of the, 3 of their 4 losses. The Chiefs shut him down and had no problems. I mean, the Chiefs should have blown them out, really. They just kind of let the foot off the gas.
Yeah, we did, but we let the foot off the gas, and then guess what happens?
Exactly.
They were if Tua don't fumble that ball there, they probably stick it in the end zone.
Yeah, it would have been close.
So who knows? I hate that the Chiefs are not that juggernaut, that thing that I can feel confident in now. And that's the difference between an offensive and a defensive minded team, in my opinion.
You know what's crazy?
You stink if your defense stinks. I get it. Defense wins championships. But don't you feel better when Mahomes was being able to put up 30 and 40 with ease than you feel now that it's like, God, I don't know if we're going to even hit 17, bro.
I know this is probably some misplaced trust, and it's probably just because it's been built up over a few years. But like, even with the Chiefs being as bad as they have been, even losing 4 of the last 6 matchups, like I still have a confidence in the Chiefs to win every game. Like it doesn't matter who they play. They could play the 49ers tomorrow, and I still would you really go in there thinking you have no chance?
No, because I think you got a chance.
Exactly. Like I still have a confidence in the Chiefs somewhat against anybody. It's just like, what are they going to do today? That's the thing. It used to be more like consistent, and this year it's just like, man, if the right team shows up, we're gonna win. You know what's
crazy though? The Chiefs are everybody forgets this. Everybody forgets it. I've forgotten it at times. The Chiefs are honestly in a freaking rebuild, dude. We're in a rebuild.
Yeah.
Yeah, they started it last year and we won a Super Bowl. But I think this year we felt the effects of it just a little bit more. But that's what I was saying at the beginning, and you didn't hear this part. We know that Brett Veach probably effed this one just a little bit. But this is the reason. He had to cheap. He had to pick his spots. So I think he got a little too cute. He tried to cheap the wide receiver room, but he did a great job. But you seen when he had to rebuild the corner room, boy, he overdid it, and that corner room looks good.
Yeah.
But So this is what I'm saying. Brett Veach is a very proud guy, but I said that I think deep down he will admit to himself that, hey, I miscalculated. I missed this. This is
He
on
has
me.
to know.
Yeah, but he's not going to publicly admit it because he's very proud.
Right.
But I think deep down he knows, and I think this offseason he will do whatever he can to correct it and get that off. He wants that stain off his.
Yeah, he
his
always kind of
card.
overcorrects anyway, right?
So yeah, I don't think we'll have this problem next year.
Right. My personal opinion is this, okay? And y'all can throw tomatoes at me if you want to.
Boo.
But defense wins championships. Everyone always says that.
Yeah.
I think this day and age in the NFL, cheaping out on your offense is a death knell because you can mask a bad defense. We've seen it for 6 years. You can just put a lot of points up on the board, and that's what Mahomes has always done. But this year, you can't mask a bad offense with a good defense. They're eventually going to wear down. Like the defense can't put all the points on the board.
Right.
Like I think, like as important as defense is, I still think offense is more important in today's NFL. You have to be able to put points on the board.
Well, dude, you're not wrong. All the officiating rules and all the new rules they implement favors the offense. It's an offensive driven league. That's what they want to see. That's
it's the way it's been set up.
Look under Dick Vermeil. I mean, Greg Robinson ran some of the trashiest defense we ever seen, but we were in every single game because Trent Green and them could put up 40 points. And yeah, we'd get to the playoffs, and then Peyton Manning would never punt. So I get it. It can come back to bite you, but I'm with you. If you do have Chris Jones and people like that, then, you can mask some weak spots in a way.
Well, what Julie is saying here is, she hit the nail on the head here.
That's true.
Like I was saying, you can't mask a bad offense because if they go out there and 3 and out, they're just wearing you down. Like your defense is eventually going to wear down. It kills them. And I just think the way the game is today, you cannot mask a bad offense because the defense can't put all the points on the board. It's just not going to happen.
To that point that Julia said, to the point you just said, defense and offense, if you go out and you run 20 plays, let's just say you have a drive that's 20 plays and you take 10 minutes off the clock. That defense is exponentially more tired than that offense ever thought about being. Why? Because it's reactionary. You don't know what's happening. You're reacting. So you're running more. You're using more twitch muscles to react and read, and you're mentally more drained because you're doing this. Offense knows where they're going. They know where the ball's going. The receivers, every once in a while, they can just run a little decoy route and they'll run the ball, and it's like these defenders, they have to get off the ball every single time. And like, if you put together a long drive, guess what? The pass rush, everything starts wearing down. Offense can come right back out and do it again. They're ready to go. So yeah, the defense is what wears down. And to your point, our offense has to be good enough that we don't keep putting them on short drives. Like the other day, I'll say the biggest thing that the Chiefs screwed up on was when we got the ball with about 6 minutes left and we didn't even take a minute off the clock and we punted.
Yeah. That was it.
Yeah, that was a big reason that the game.
That was the game right there, in my opinion. I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but the defense, that's the thing, man. Like the offense, they have to take advantage when they're in the red zone, and we've squandered so many red zone opportunities. Also, the 3 and outs. Like if you just go down and put 3 points on the board with a defense like we got, it gives them time to rest. You put points on the board. The good things can happen. But if you're just going out and 3 and out, and they're going to wear down. That's no way to win a game. You cannot do it.
Yeah, but I mean, you would think. It looks like, by the way, we didn't even talk about this. Pacheco's still missing practices. He's probably going to miss game number 2 this week.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Miracle.
I'm okay with them letting him get well rested because Clyde's doing pretty good in his absence so far. I thought Clyde looked pretty good.
He had some juice last week.
Same, and I think by no means do we have to have Pacheco to beat the Patriots. So if he needs a rest, let him rest. Let's take care of business and then make sure that he's healthy for the playoff run.
Yep, 1,000%. And so Leo missed practice today, by the way.
What's up with Leo?
And Mike Edwards. I think they're just sick. Some kind of virus, some kind of sickness. Let's hope they get
we
back
know all about that around here.
Yeah. Man. Let's hope that that's not something that's going to linger. That's something that messes with their conditioning. But, man, they got the best trainers. They're probably they got needles and IVs and fluids going 24/7 probably. So they should be good to go. That's about it with the injury report. I think, forgot. Excuse me. Donovan Smith was still missing from his neck stingers. But to be honest, Wanya Morris looked pretty good. Me and you're both hacking over here. What's going on?
Wanya,
I just need water.
Wanya is going to be just fine, I think. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if he'll be like an elite left tackle, but I think he's going to be very much serviceable. And I think he's just as good as Donovan Smith, in my opinion. He got
Right.
a lot to learn. Don't get me wrong. I think Donovan Smith's probably a smarter, more experienced guy. But ability-wise, I think Wanye's just there, right there with him.
Wanye's played 120, I want to say 122 snaps off the top of my head, 81 pass block, 41 run blocking. And in his pass blocking snaps, 9% has resulted in a QB pressure. So about 1 out of every 10 snaps goes to a QB pressure. That's not the greatest in the world, but he's learning too. Yeah.
And he had Von Miller all day the other day, bro.
And then, not to mention, though, I'm not saying he did bad. I'm just telling you his number. And I'm saying that Mahomes does get he drifts too far out of that pocket sometimes, man. Big time.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing. I'd rather see him do that than step up into the collapsing pockets like he has, man.
That's true. But you know what's funny is that the collapsing pockets, that's your 3 interior.
Yeah, and that don't happen often. But why? Like, that's the funny thing about it is, like, that only happens like maybe 3 times a game, and Mahomes tends to step up straight into it.
Yeah, he'll do it.
But any other time, he'll turn out of a clean pocket and run. So it's just, my thing is like, I'd much rather see him just go ahead and get out of the pocket if there's a chance of that, because you can't recover from that. But Mahomes, we know, can recover from running around and making plays happen. So.
Yeah, I agree. But I think Wanye's going to be fine. Even if he misses, if Pacheco's got to miss, he's got to miss. Cool. I'm down with. Look, if Leo has to sit out a game, I think we're fine. If Mike Edwards has to sit, that's the one that might be kind of bad right now.
Tranquil,
Brian Cook being out.
Tranquil good. Where are we at with him?
Tranquil, I think's practicing. He's practicing. I think he was back.
Cleared the concussion protocol.
Yeah, so I think he'll be good to go. So there you go. If Leo has to miss, you got Tranquil that can step in right there. And dude, seeing him and Nick Bolton on the field at the same time is going to be a disaster for poor Bailey
Nice
Zappi.
To see. We only seen it like once this year, maybe twice.
Great. But dude, I love it. We got just a few more minutes. We got about 10 minutes left. So if you guys want to throw some questions in the chat, we'll answer them. I've not even got to take questions, Steve. I was just trying to I told him I was doing like a Macbeth soliloquy over here, like just talking to myself, you know.
I just ran in here. I was like out of breath by the time I got here. That's why I had to take him. You were like, "Why is he just hanging out?" I'm like, "Give me a second, man.
Oh,
let me collect myself here."
Yeah, again, thanks for being with us tonight. We appreciate it. I know it's a little bit earlier. It's going to be like this for just a few more weeks. But look, guys, it's the 13th. We're supposed to be getting YouTube straightened back at the beginning of the new year. So
cross your
fingers crossed. I don't have a lot of faith in them. But by the way, we're down to like 3 weeks of this nonsense, and then we should start being able to roll back to a more normal schedule. It'll still take a little bit of time to get it back together because now you got to recoup all your losses. But other than that, we should be good to go. But there's 70 likes. Go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't. Let's try to drive that up to 80, 90, 100. Don't stop. And then hit that subscribe button. We're at 18.5K climbing, trying to get to 20K. And Steve, I was telling him earlier, we hit 10 million views on YouTube, and then we had to delete a bunch of stuff, and we had to make some stuff private and whatever, because they don't tell you what's wrong and what's not. So you're just doing whatever you can. And so we lost them, but they just sent us another message yesterday. We hit it again. So we've now hit 10 million twice.
Yeah. We're well over 15 million total. Yeah, easily.
Dose. But I'll tell you, I'm decently proud considering, there's been
we're scratching and clawing to that 20K mark.
It's been a shaft from YouTube over the past few weeks.
For sure. Let's go ahead and get to some questions.
Let's do it.
Chris Wright here says, "What's the chances we go 4-0 win out?"
First, before you answer Chris's question, I want to say, Chris, I haven't talked to you in a long time, and we miss you over here. And it's good to see you. It's good to see you. We haven't got to talk to a lot of people lately because we've not been able to do so many lives. You know,
not saying that you're not. You've probably been in the live chat, but
it's
just weird.
Yeah. It's been strange. So, but yeah, good to see you, Chris. I just wanted to let you know.
I think, honestly, this is going to sound crazy because the Chiefs have been so inconsistent, but I think that we got a 90% chance of winning out here. Easy.
You say 90? I'm going to say 75. I'm going to put it at 75. I'm going to give us about 3 and 4.
It's because of the competition we're playing. I'll tell you, the one team to still look out for is Cincinnati, even with Browning.
That's my 3 or 4. That's why I think we got 3 and 4. And look, they always play us rough. It's always their Super Bowl. If they think they can screw us over, boy, that'll be their favorite. They'll have a parade in the city over it.
We've always said, like, Joe Burrow, he's a good quarterback, but look at the weapons around him, right? and it's been proven now. Jake Browning, I mean, he's still got
Who in
Jamar
the world?
Chase out here
Jake
bailing him out.
Browning,
Higgins
and this
bailing
dude
him
is
out.
balling out, Steve.
Because all you have to do is not
Right.
make a mistake.
Which
If you have
proves-
weapons like that, which proves
Yeah.
why Brett Veach screwed Patrick Mahomes. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you have those types of weapons, you just have to not screw the game up. Just
It
get out
also
there and
just
throw the
proves
ball
that
to him, right?
maybe Joe Shiesty isn't as great as they thought, is he?
I think he's still good, but there's definitely something to
Yeah.
that. Yes, we will give the dogs some hugs for you there, Julia Gulia. Even
Julia,
though Charlie's a little jerk these days, I will say that.
has he been a jerk lately, Steve? Stella,
Yeah.
I've been trying to get Stella in the Christmas spirit, so I've been cooking her Christmas cookies that she can actually eat. So now when she hears the Christmas cookies coming out of the jar, she's loving it.
That's great. Kevin Cable says, will they give Ross Sky snaps? I hope not. I hope they give him a lot of MVS snaps.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. Justyn Ross in the slot is a more effective receiver if you're not going to throw those jump balls, those
Agreed.
50-50 balls. He's got a better chance of beating a linebacker and a safety because he's kind of Cornell Powell-ish. He's kind of slow a little bit out of his breaks and things. He's not very a deceiving route runner.
I will say that Patrick Mahomes gained some confidence in Rashee Rice, which is you've seen some 50-50 balls, some back shoulder balls and stuff like that Mahomes hadn't been throwing. I think if he can get that rapport with Justyn Ross, that'd be great. That'd be great. I'd love to see less MVS anytime.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Gabriel, what's up, Gabe? He says, will there ever be an investigation on the refs? No, I don't think you'll ever see it. And again, the same point I was trying to make earlier. If the world would have coalesced and let Andy and Patrick be like their voice, the inside voice, like, hey, these are prominent.
They hate them too much.
Right. These are prominent NFL figures that may, if they make enough noise, you can maybe get this changed a little bit. But no, it's the Chiefs get all the calls, your crybabies, whiners, they shout them down, and we're going to go back to the – and this is what the NFL wants to do. Look, it's a billion-dollar organization. They can't pay officials. You can't have full-time officials, and you make billions and billions.
Well, all those teams, all those players, all the coaches, all the fans, they've all been hurt by the Chiefs in the last few years.
Right.
And they just can't get over it.
And they act like we're the only team, by the way, Steve. We're the only team that's ever benefited from a good call or a bad call in their perspective.
Yeah.
We're the only team that can not cry about calls, too. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. What's up, Lonnie? Just want to say hi, man. We're doing good. Hope you're doing well as well. What else we got? Chris Wright. I got to take this one again. He said, do we go scorched earth on the Pat Sunday, or is it eked out win? And by all means, logic would tell you it's not going to be like a blowout, but I do kind of feel like there's a culmination of things here that make you think maybe it could be like the fire that the team has right now, the laser focus they have right now. Their backs are against the wall at this point. Like, look, you cannot be blowing games or you're going to lose out. Like, lose your point, division, everything.
Right. To that point, if the Chiefs come out and can't beat this team by double digits as bad as they are, we're probably in trouble.
Yeah.
We are who we thought we were. Juliet asked if we had looked at the draft at all. I've not got into it much.
No, I mean, I know some of the players here and there. I
usually wait till I usually wait till they start getting to the All-Star games and things, because that's where you start getting good competition versus good competition. With me sitting around watching LSU and Alabama playing Southern Missouri State Tech.
Well, that don't happen much. You have to go to the ACC teams. When I'm watching the ACC blow out Division II schools, it's kind of hard.
By the way, did you find it surprising that Daniels, the QB of LSU, won the Heisman?
I did.
I thought that was a little surprising too, but then when I looked at the stats, I was like, yeah, the kid's pretty good.
No, I totally see why.
I don't watch a lot of LSU football, which is kind of weird because the Chiefs draft from LSU and the SEC a lot. So maybe I should watch more LSU football. It just bores me.
Lonnie says, what's the remedy for us to right the ship? And I'll be interested to know what you think, Mike. I'll throw mine out there just real quick because I think it's just one thing. I think that it all comes down to like a confidence from Patrick Mahomes in the people he's throwing the ball to. I think if they, like we've been saying, if they could just tweak that offense a little bit, get the turds out, like MVS, we don't need him. Like, what are we doing? Like, he's kind of a waste of space. Why are we doing this Justin Watson thing still? Like, I think what you're doing is you put guys in there that can make plays like Rashee Rice. And then when he makes plays, Mahomes builds a confidence with him. I think like more Noah Gray would be great because Mahomes has a very high QBR when throwing to Noah Gray. It's like those are the little things I think that could get this offense on track. And the defense is, as long as the defense is not put out to dry like they have been, they're going to be just fine.
Dude, I can answer it very simply. I honestly think the Chiefs just cut mental mistakes. I think we're there. I was seeing enough of
Well,
that
I would
offense.
consider playing MVS 90% of the game a mental mistake.
I was starting to see some signs of life from that offense versus the Bills. Like, I was seeing glimpses.
Yeah.
If they can cut the mental mistakes, I think they're fine. Ray says, hey, Mike and Steve, did you guys agree with Stephen A. calling Mahomes an embarrassment because of his behavior? No. This was another example of the media just waiting to pounce on Mahomes. And they the media starts everything with the Chiefs. They started the whole Jawan Taylor bogus thing and got that going. They always start the social media outrage.
I'm not going to outright
do the same thing.
I'm not going to outright say this, but I think you guys will get the drift. Tom Brady did this for 25 years in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Yelled at referees, cussed, threw his stuff, broke tablets, everything. And it was just him being passionate. Patrick Mahomes does it, and all of a sudden he's got bad character and he's bad. We all know why. We all know why.
It's like we're brothers, because before you got on here, I said that exact thing.
We know why. We know why.
1,000%. Yeah. Amira, how are you, Amira? I hope you're well. What you guys think about Mitch Schwartz comments? Dude, us and Mitchell Schwartz are very love-hate.
I like Mitchell Schwartz, but he drives me insane.
Right. Man. I like him as a person. Like, I would have dinner with Mitchell Schwartz, but I don't agree with a lot of some of the stuff he says. Like, to me, I think it comes off a little elitist. Well, I've played before. I'm more valuable.
It's like, bro,
and
you look, the tackle.
Right. But look, I get it. But look, you see Jason Dunn come on and say some stuff about the tackles last year and stuff, and everybody
wrote him off.
Told him he was stupid. And it's like, dude, he played. And then Mitchell Schwartz does it, and now Mitchell Schwartz is trying to get a job at a big network. He says whatever, and look, it's fine. It is what it is.
I called him an NFL bootlicker. I'm just gonna say that.
But I
because
like
he
Mitchell
does to a
Schwartz,
certain extent. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like most of the stuff he says, it just comes off a little bit arrogant and elitist. Like, hey, well, I know more than you guys, so just
what's his
talking.
brother is the same way.
Jeff.
Yeah, same way. Same thing.
Dude, this is what I say to people. They're like, well, they are in the NFL, so they are more valuable. I'll give you that to a certain degree. But if you go, because look, you don't know how to do your taxes, and you take it to a tax person, and the tax person screws it up, and then you argue them, and they're like, what are you arguing me for? I'm the tax person. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, you can't just be like, hey, I'm a tax person. Nobody's able to talk taxes.
Just because you played in the NFL doesn't make you right about everything.
Yeah,
it just don't.
That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony. Appreciate you, brother.
What's up, bud?
Congrats for
twice, baby.
Twice.
Hey, double it up there.
It is what it is. Steve, let's take a few more. I got to jump off here in just a minute. I don't know why that clicked, bro. I have no idea.
Are you on Facebook? Hit the like button. Hey, while we're at it, though, with Nightbot, I'll pop this one up. You can make a donation to ACU since YouTube's been YouTube. And here's how. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, whatever. If you have $1, whatever you want to, donate to the channel for the content we do. It'd be much appreciated. Also, patreon.com/allchiefedup. You can become a member over there for $10 and get bonus footage every week. And then merch.allchiefedup.com. You can buy some nice stuff over there. So appreciate you guys for that.
Yep. I was also telling them earlier, Steve, about our friends at FOCO.
Yeah, for sure.
Check that out too. It's kind of cool, man.
Scroll on the bottom here, yeah.
Right. And I did not know that Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith were teamed with FOCO. So that's kind of, I was telling last night, I was like, it's kind of cool that in 2 years, man, I didn't think I would be like associated with a company that Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey is. Like, how cool is that? That's cool. So I want to support them for having confidence and faith in us and our product. That's pretty cool.
Yep. I agree. Well, I'll let you pick the last couple questions, man, since you got a row. So,
okay. Yeah, we can. Let me snag one here. Here we go. Mitchell. We talked about Mitchell Schwartz. Let's take Mitchell Shepard from Facebook. Hey, Mitch, hope you're still with us, by the way. We don't get a lot of interaction on Facebook, but we need that. I don't know why. Facebook's more like the older crowd these days. Like, all the young kids have now went to TikTok and Instagram. So, like, the older crowd doesn't like to participate, apparently. You guys think KT is still a player to keep? I think he's just in his head. He's a heck of a player. you guys can read the rest of that if you want. I skimmed it. It's like he's just saying that KT's a good player. He's right. Did you hear Kelsey on New Heights? He said that they all have trust in him.
Yes.
And of course, he's not going to dog him, but they do got trust in him. And KT is special with the ball in his hands. KT makes a lot of mental mistakes. He's young, but he is a dynamic player, and he does have injury issues. But if he can ever overcome that, he can get out of his own head. KT's a weapon, and while he's on a rookie contract, he will not go anywhere here.
Well, it's amazing to me. A lot of people they feel like Kadarius Toney's been around in the league a long time, but the thing of the fact of the matter is this kid's 24, bro.
Yeah, this is
like
he's
20. Dude, he's 24 years old, and he's not played a lot because of injury.
Right, take out all his injuries.
He's very, very special with the ball in his hands. Go back and watch his Florida footage. You can see the plays that he made when he was in New York, the plays that he's made for the Chiefs so far. And I will say this, even though he's dropped a couple times here and there and made some mental mistakes, when KT gets the ball in his hands, he plays hard, and he wants to be good. He wants to win, and I like that about him for sure.
Right. Okay, last one of the night, Lynn. Thanks for watching, Lynn. And of course, he says, "Do you think Pat's going to be in New York tonight for Taylor Swift's birthday party?" I hope not. Well, I'll let you know because that's where I'm headed to. I'm heading to New York. I'm hanging out with Taylor Swift. I'm hanging out with Big Eddie.
Yeah, you have to let us know if Mahomes.
We're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate Taylor's birthday. Is he going to be there? No. I think it would be a bad look at this point if he shows up there after all the controversy this week. Now, do I think it's a problem? No. These guys are adults. It's so funny how people think these adults can't have other things going on. Like when I'm not at work.
Right. You're allowed to go do stuff after work, right?
Like, yeah. And I mean, I get it. Football's like,
it's almost a
game that's super like.
Could you imagine if like people got mad at you because you were you doing things that, like, dude, you're off work right now, but you need to be thinking about work.
Dude, our own pops is like that. That dude's been like, he worked so hard for 50 years. He goes to work and then comes home and sleeps about work and thinks about work and loves work.
Yeah, he
I just wish work loved you back as much.
They don't. That's the life lesson that I've learned so far. Yeah.
Your job will never love you more than you love it. So don't do it. Live life. And with that being said, appreciate all you guys being here on a Wednesday night. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Can't say it enough. Hit that like button on the way out. Check out our FOCO link. Check out our online store. If you can donate to us, it's all in the description. Hit that for us. Steve, you got anything left for them on this beautiful Wednesday night?
Nope. Just thanks for being here, and we'll be back. Should be back with a tailgate on Saturday night if everything aligns. But it is. I do want to give a heads up because it is the holiday season. We don't have a whole lot of free time, and there's a chance we might be actually trying to do something with the family on Saturday night. But we'll make it work.
Feliz Navidad.
That just got creepy fast.
Feliz Navidad.
Go Chiefs.
There goes a sight from my soul.